Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India NewsHour, India's voice to the world. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj, coming up in the next hour. In a major infra boost to Bengaluru, Prime Minister Modi inaugurates yellow line of Nama Metro, says India is focusing on modern infra development to make cities smart and efficient. Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hails Operation Sindoor, highlighting India's firm stance against terrorism. Ahead of Trump-Putin meet in Alaska on Friday, Vance and Lamy host Ukraine talks, while EU leaders stress need to protect Ukrainian security interests. Wildfires rage across southern Europe amid record temperatures, with thousands under evacuation orders. Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in Karnataka to launch in transformative infrastructure projects enhancing urban and regional connectivity at the KSR railway station. He flagged off 3 Vande Bharat Express trains: Bengaluru, Belagavi, Amritsar, Shri Mata Vaishno Devi, Katra and Nagpur, Pune, boosting intercity travel with faster and modern services. The Prime Minister also interacted with school children aboard the Vande Bharat Express in Bengaluru. The children expressed their excitement and gratitude for the opportunity to meet and interact with him. Further, PM Narendra Modi inaugurated the 19-kilometer yellow line of Bengaluru's Metro Phase 2 from RV Road to Bomasandra, costing 7,160 crore, expanding the city's metro network to over 96 kilometers. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also took a metro ride to Electronic City and interacted with school children aboard the newly inaugurated metro line. Amid drumbeats and joyous chants, PM Modi interacted and waved at the people who had gathered at the metro station to greet the Prime Minister. These initiatives, strengthening India's transport infrastructure, align with global urban mobility trends, fostering economic growth and connectivity, while drawing international attention to India's infrastructure ambitions. As Prime Minister Modi travelled through Bengaluru during his Karnataka visit on Sunday, hundreds of people gathered on the side of the road to welcome him to the city. Prime Minister Narendra Modi also addressed a public event in Bengaluru. PM Modi acknowledged Bengaluru's identity among the world's major cities and said that to compete globally, India is focusing on modern infrastructure development to make cities smart and efficient. Take a listen.
आज बेंगलुरु की पहचान दुनिया के बड़े सिटीज के साथ होती है। हमें ग्लोबली कॉम्पीट भी करना है, इतना ही नहीं, लीड भी करना है। हम तभी आगे निकलेंगे जब हमारे शहर स्मार्ट होंगे, फास्ट होंगे, एफिशिएंट होंगे। इसलिए आज मॉडर्न इंफ्रा के लिए प्रोजेक्ट पूरे कराने पर हमारा इतना जोर है।
Prime Minister Modi credited India's rapid economic growth over the past 11 years to the mantra of reform, perform and transform and honest efforts. Listen in.
आज भारत दुनिया की फास्टेस्ट ग्रोइंग मेजर इकोनॉमी है। पिछले 11 इयर्स में हमारी इकोनॉमी 10वें नंबर से टॉप 5 में पहुंच गई। हम बहुत तेजी से टॉप 3 इकोनॉमी बनने की ओर आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। ये स्पीड हमें कैसे मिली है? ये स्पीड हमें रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म, ट्रांसफॉर्म की स्पिरिट से मिली है। ये स्पीड हमें साफ नीयत और ईमानदार प्रयासों से मिली है। आप याद करिए, 2014 में मेट्रो सिर्फ 5 शहरों तक सीमित थी, 5 सिटीज। अब 24 सिटीज में 1000 किलोमीटर से ज्यादा मेट्रो नेटवर्क है। भारत अब दुनिया का तीसरा सबसे बड़ा मेट्रो नेटवर्क वाला देश बन गया है।
All right, you just heard what Prime Minister Narendra Modi said. And on this, I have been joined by Professor Manoj Chaudhary, who is Vice Chancellor, Gati Shakti Vishwavidyalaya, who's joining us live on the
Good
broadcast.
afternoon.
Sir, a very good afternoon to you. To begin with, sir, when we hear about Bengaluru, the word Bengaluru, the city Bengaluru, one thing which comes to our mind is the traffic, the congestion in traffic. But I believe after today, this statement, this particular image of that city will vanish soon, because Prime Minister Narendra Modi has inaugurated the yellow line and it will ease traffic congestion in the city. How do you react to that, sir?
Of course, having lived in Bangalore for 21 years myself, I can relate to what you mentioned and what the impact of the Prime Minister's action today on inaugurating the line, the new line from Electronic City to RV Road that will do for the city of Bangalore. And the entire urban transportation in Bangalore that is getting transformed with the introduction of metro and with Bangalore Metro's expansion to 96 kilometers. I think it's a very, very significant step in the day of Bangalore.
Definitely. Sir, also, indeed, it's a city which has put India on the global tech map. PM Modi also hailed the city and he said that it is developing as the symbol of new India. How do you see that? How do you see this?
Absolutely. Today, when we looked at our service industry, in export segment, in the IT export, 30% of the exports are coming from Bangalore, a city that has more than 4 million people who are already working in the tech sector. More than 700 global capability centers are already established. The who's who in the technology world today have an office in Bangalore. Bangalore is a center for a large number of unicorns, a large proportion of unicorns in India. They have been set up in Bangalore. Therefore, Bangalore not only has the companies, technology centers, the talent, the population that can support it, but also has all the right ecosystem in terms of whether venture funding for startups, whether the new technology development. Not only that, Bangalore has always been one of the important technology capitals. For example, it had Hindustan Aeronautics Limited. It has important units from DRDO set up there. It has Indian Institute of Science there. And therefore, historically also, if you look at Bangalore gas turbine units and so on, Bangalore has always been one of the technology capitals in India. And with the multinationals in all the technology sectors that have now set up their big centers, capability centers there. It is home to the largest talent population. And I think that is a backbone of India's movement. As when we talk about Bangalore as a new Silicon Valley, it is indeed true because there is a talent, there is a capital, there is technology.
Definitely, and also, do you agree to the fact that technology is the new in, be it any sector, and with India's vision of Viksit Bharat, India is poised to manufacture everything under the sun, really soon.
Completely agree. If you look at India's growth story, today we are the fourth largest economy and we are going to soon become the third largest economy. If you look at our pillars, one of the most important pillar of our growth story is infrastructure, which is not only physical in terms of railway, aviation, metro, shipping, and so on, but a large part is also based on digital. Our DPI, for example, digital public infrastructure is very, very significant. Today, you look at the UPI, more than 1 trillion transactions are taking place
Yes.
every month basis. If you look in, for example, AI mission, India is leading that. If you look in semiconductor mission, there are more than 6 semiconductor units that have already been announced within 3 years of India semiconductor mission being announced. And therefore, if you look in all aspects, if you look in railways, we are producing locomotives and exporting them. If you look at Vande Bharat trains, they are the examples of the technological marvels. If you look at recently, for example, opened up Pamban Bridge, the first vertical lift sea bridge.
Yes.
If you look at Chenab Bridge, if you look at Anji Bridge, everything is a technology marvel. And every aspect, if you look at Operation Sindhu, if India achieved significant victory within 3 days of 22nd April attack, we took revenge within 23 minutes. It was based on our superior air defense system. It was based on BrahMos missile that we had. And more importantly, everything that we did in terms of indigenous defense manufacturing. And therefore, you can see that defense manufacturing is today at almost 30,000 crore rupees, where we were importing everything from abroad. So significant push on technology development. You look at the space sector. Today we are one of the very few countries in the world that can do space docking. And all aspects, space, defense. If you look in mobile manufacturing, today we are the world's #2 mobile manufacturer of the world. Electronic manufacturing. So every aspect in technology development, which is technology in order of the day, we all know that. And therefore, for new technology for India to really become Viksit Bharat, the foundation is technology, and that significant steps we are taking. If we look at Anusandhan National Research Foundation, we are committing more than 1 lakh crore rupees towards that, including private sector participation.
Correct.
Therefore, we are putting our focus whether in National Quantum Mission, on Cyber Physical Mission, on Supercomputing Mission, on Green Hydrogen Mission. Everywhere there is a significant push on the new technology development. And that is what I think is setting up a strong foundation for India to become Viksit Bharat.
Definitely. Professor, now we are talking about how technology is evolving in India. I would like to tell you that Prime Minister Modi also tried QR code enabled ticket vending machines there. Certainly goes on to show that how, like I was just mentioning, technology is evolving in the country and it's making life easier for the common people who are using public transports.
Absolutely. If you look at, for example, today, when you are living in a city, you can take up any public transport. Metro being one example. There can be another example in terms of your buses that can be electronic buses. For example, NCR region has RRTS, Rapid Regional Transport Service. There are many modes of transportation, and big focus in India is happening towards multimodal integration of these transport systems. Therefore, you will see that a passenger can have a QR code, and using the same app, he can buy the tickets whether for metro, for bus, for rail, and for other aspects. And therefore, it has become, Delhi, for example, has taken a lead. They have also set up a Metropolitan Transportation Authority, unifying all the means of transportation. I think this is the order of the day. And both the PM Gati Shakti National Master Plan as well as National Logistics Policy strongly pushing towards multimodal integration. When we create Vadhavan Port, our first green port, first new port, greenfield port, at a cost of 76,200 crore rupees, we will have a big impetus on the maritime sector as well. Today in the airports, we are already 160 plus airports, and we are going to be 350 plus soon. Today, 5 lakh passengers take air travel every day. Therefore, there is a great need to unify from passenger point of view, passengers are looking for great customer experience. They are looking for available, accessible, and affordable affordable travel by any means. From first mile connectivity to last mile connectivity is all that passengers are looking for, and ease of that. And I think that is the multimodal integration that Honorable Prime Minister is talking about, has been pushing strongly for, and that is the journey the country is now taking.
Definitely, and it also goes on to show, sir, that how India is growing, in terms of technology, and that too manyfold.
Yes, in almost every aspect, if you can look at today, for example, you were talking of manufacturing. Today in India, well, of course, HL has been manufacturing aeroplanes and so on, but we also have now private sector participation. Tata Advanced Systems, along with Airbus, are manufacturing C-295 military transport aircraft right there in Vadodara, where Gati Shakti Vishwavidhyalaya is located. They are doing H-125 helicopter manufacturing. So therefore, in all aspects, not only automotive, not only electronics, not only semiconductor, not only defense, all areas where India can make a big push through manufacturing is where the focus is happening, because manufacturing is an important area that will create jobs, and jobs are an integral part of Viksit Bharat.
Indeed. A while back, sir, you were mentioning Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor certainly has shown the world that India will no longer tolerate terrorism and will give befitting reply if anyone tries to create any sort of disturbance in the country. This is what Operation Sindoor has boldly shown. Prime Minister Modi said today that the state of Karnataka has contributed to success of Operation Sindoor. He said success of the operation showed a new India to the entire world. And a major force behind the triumph was our indigenous technology, which also, on the other hand, is being widely appreciated. Everyone is now looking at India, and trying to fix a deal with India as far as made in India weapons are concerned. So how do you see this entire picture?
Yeah, we conveyed to the world after the 22nd April barbaric attack sponsored by Pakistan through Operation Sindoor. We gave three very important messages. Firstly, that every act of terror shall be swiftly responded to and very aggressively and determinately responded to. Second, India shall not tolerate nuclear blackmail anymore. And third, India will not differentiate. India shall not differentiate between terrorists and their sponsors. With that in mind, through Operation Sindoor, when you looked at India's air defense system could not be penetrated, whatever the kind of attacks, through drone attacks that Pakistan tried. So that was the superiority of India's air defense system. But on the other hand, India could strike deep within Pakistan, the 9 targeted places that we attacked. And we very clearly were telling from the day one that our attacks are non-escalatory in nature. So it was possible also if we could strike, for example, yesterday the Air Chief Marshal talked about an important part, that one of the, perhaps the longest 300-kilometer surface-to-air kill was achieved by India through Operation Sindoor. This is not possible without indigenous technology.
Correct.
It's not possible without technology.
Definitely. And very quickly, sir, I'll not just talk about the development of the state of Karnataka itself, but I'll ask you about the overall, how do you see the overall development of India, in every sector, be it rail connectivity or be it technology, and also, the popularity of Prime Minister Narendra Modi and his dedication, in giving focus to the development of the nation?
Of course, in last 11 years, as Prime Minister himself highlighted today, based on the reform, perform, transform, and I will also say inform, mindset that the government has followed in terms of building a strong synergy between different players who are leading to the development sector. There is a tremendous push, and that we can see today. For example, we are building railway tracks at a rate of 15 kilometers a day. Never happened earlier. We are building highways at a rate of 35 kilometers a day. Today we are modernizing our railway stations, 1,308 of them, through Amrit Bharat Station Redevelopment Plan. We are introducing new trains. Today you talked about 3 Vande Bharat trains that were flagged. They are very, very important for our railways transformation. In aviation sector, there are tremendous reforms happening, not only in terms of the number of airports, but also in terms of how can we build the MRO facilities in India, which is important for maintenance, repair, and overhaul for the aviation sector, for us to have all the maintenance of aircrafts to be done in India. If we look at maritime sector, turnaround time at our ports, the 12 major ports that we have in India, has come down from 42 hours to 24 hours based on technology. So when our maritime port sector carries 90% of our international trade, and we are doing major efficiency improvement there, definitely lot more items that are going to be manufactured in India will need to be exported.
Definitely.
And our ports
and
are
the
getting
nation
ready.
right now, sir, is also witnessing a significant development, when it comes to the country, with every sector, like I just mentioned, not just railway and connectivity, some other sectors as well, be it
No,
agriculture.
one important point I have to highlight.
Please.
That our GDP growth, our country's growth is not only in GDP, it is also in terms of ensuring dignity and opportunity for every individual, whether through Ujjwala scheme, whether through rooftop solar scheme, whether through Nal to Jal scheme. Social inclusion is an important part of our development growth story.
Correct.
And that is, I think, something we must be very proud of.
Really, the entire country is proud on that, sir. Thank you so much. It was wonderful having this conversation with you. Thank you so much. We leave it there.
Thank you, Siddharth. Thank you so much.
And still to come on the India NewsHour. Encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district entered its 10th day today. On the occasion of Singapore's 60th National Day, Indian Navy's first indigenous survey vessel, large INS Sandhyak, arrived at the vibrant port of Singapore.
Extreme heat, unseasonal rains, floods, droughts. These aren't just isolated weather events anymore. So today, through all our stories, we ask, how do we adapt? And whatever we do, will it be enough as the weather becomes more extreme?
We managed to get the IMD, and what we can create a WhatsApp group. We can have these market leaders in this WhatsApp group, and we can send these, IMD can send these alerts, these weather alerts every day in this WhatsApp group.
We have concentrated mostly on disaster management framing to tackle the problems associated with heat.
It's necessary in this humid heat, and we know that the summers are getting more and more relentless. It's an interesting initiative.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. And speaking at an event in Madhya Pradesh on Sunday, Defence Minister Rajnath Singh hailed Operation Sindoor, highlighting India's firm stance against terrorism. Minister said, terrorists thought after Pahalgam that India will not take any action. But under the leadership of PM Modi, we decided that strong action will be taken.
कि ऑपरेशन सिंदूर हुआ, शिवराज सिंह जी ने आपके सामने चर्चा की कि कैसे पहलगाम में कुछ आतंकवादियों ने आकर हमारे वहां पर्यटन के लिए गए कुछ निर्दोष नागरिकों की निर्मम हत्या कर दी थी। मेरे बहनों भाइयों, उन्होंने मान लिया था भारत शांत होकर बैठ जाएगा। हमारे प्रधानमंत्री जी का संकल्प था, हम लोगों ने तय किया हम इसका मुंहतोड़ जवाब देंगे। तो बहनों भाइयों, हम लोगों ने भी ठान लिया कि हम धर्म पूछकर किसी को नहीं मारेंगे, बदला नहीं लेंगे, हम उनका कर्म देखकर हम उनको मारेंगे बहनों भाइयों, और कर्म देखकर हम लोगों ने मारा।
Chief of Defence Staff General Aleen Chauhan has described the success of Operation Sindoor as a testament to the synergy and operational cohesion among the three services. Addressing the participants of the 21st Higher Defence Management Course and senior officers at the College of Defence Management, Secunderabad, the Chief of Defence Staff shared strategic perspectives on jointness and integration in the armed forces and highlighted key takeaways for shaping the future roadmap of integrated operations. Army Chief General Upendra Dwivedi has also spoken publicly for the first time about the planning and execution of Operation Sindoor during the inauguration of Indian Army Research Cell at IIT Madras earlier this week. The Army Chief described the operation strategy as similar to playing chess. He said Operation Sindoor operated in a grey zone, unpredictable and just short of a full conventional military engagement.
We played chess. Now what does it mean? It means we did not know what is the next move the enemy is going to take and what are we going to do. This is something we called about the grey zone. Grey zone is that we are not going for the conventional operations, but we are doing something which is just short of the conventional operations. Conventional operations means go with everything, Clausewitzian approach. Take whatever you have. And if you are able to come back, it's okay, otherwise stay there. But that is the thing which we talk about the conventional approach. Here the grey zone is any activity which is taking place in all domains. That is something which we are talking about, and Ops Hindu taught us that this is the grey zone. So we were making the chess moves. He was also making the chess moves. Somewhere we were giving him checkmate, and somewhere we were kind of going in for the kill, at the risk of even losing our own, but that's the way life is all about.
General Dwivedi said planning began on 23rd of April when the three service chiefs and Defence Minister Rajnath Singh agreed that decisive action was needed.
22nd April, you're aware what happened in Pahalgam, and it actually shocked the nation. 23rd is the time when next day itself, we all sat down. And this is the first time which RM has also said, I think enough is enough. And all the three chiefs were very clear, something has to be done. And the free hand was given, of course, that you decide what is to be done. And that is the kind of a confidence with the political directions and political clarity for the first time we saw. And that's what made a difference, because we want to do a lot, but that kind of hand-holding and kind of free, no terms of restrictions, if I can say that. And that is what kind of raises up your morale. And that is how it helped our army commanders or commander-in-chiefs on ground to kind of act as per their wisdom.
An encounter broke out in North Indian Union Territory, Jammu and Kashmir's Kishtwar early hours on Sunday. The alert Indian Army troops established contact with terrorists in general area of Dul in Kishtwar in early Sunday morning. The troops were carrying out an intelligence-based operation when they established contact with terrorists. During the operation, both sides exchanged gunfire. More details awaited as the operation is under progress. The encounter in Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district entered its 10th day today. 2 Indian Army soldiers martyred in a marathon combat with terrorists. Over the past 10 days, few soldiers have sustained injuries during the gun battle, one of the longest ever. The forces are also using drones and attack helicopters to weed out the terrorists who appear to be well trained in jungle warfare. All right, and Dean India's Shabir Dar joins us on the phone line from Srinagar. Hi Shabir, what is the situation there right now?
Yeah, Star, the encounter in Kishtwar is going on as the security forces are engaged in fierce gunfight with the terrorists who were spotted in the jungle forest in Dul area of the Kishtwar this morning. And after the initial break of fire, the terrorists managed to hide in the forest, but the forces have launched the combing operation, and the encounter is going on as we speak. The forces have managed to engage with the terrorists, and additional deployment of Indian Army, police, and CRPF has been rushed to the spot. With the deployment of high-tech gadgetry, including drones and thermal imaging devices. All these things are being taken use of to ensure that the terrorists who have been engaged in the morning are not given an opportunity to flee or to go deep in the jungle. And the sources tell us that there are around 2 terrorists who are engaged in this operation, and every effort is made to neutralize the terrorists as early as possible. Similarly, the encounter that is happening in Akhal area of Jammu and Kashmir's Kulgam district has entered the 10th consecutive day, and we already know that 3 terrorists have been gunned down in this encounter. 1 body of the terrorists has been recovered, and 2 are lying there. There was a loss of 2 army personnel in this operation, as you already know. But now the additional deployment of troops have been rushed to the spot, and the top leadership of both army and police are monitoring the situation. And as you know that the encounter has until the 10th day, there are the local population around the encounter site, around the Akhal forest, because Akhal forest is a dense forest, and there's a hill, and down the hill there is a habitation. Now the authorities have issued the advisory, and they have issued the helpline numbers for the locals who might be facing some difficulties, because the entire area is cordoned from last 10 days. So the authorities are taking every effort to ensure that the civilian population around the encounter area don't face any problems or any difficulties. So the officers from the army and the civil administration have been entrusted to ensure that the locals in the area are given everything to feel safe.
All right, Shabir, this is developing. We'll keep taking updates from you on this. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there as of now. And INS Tamal, the Indian Navy's newest stealth frigate, has completed a port call at Casablanca, Morocco from 6th to 9th of this month during the return voyage to India. Commissioned in Russia on 1st of July 2025, INS Tamal is transiting back to her home base via multiple European and Asian ports, advancing India's maritime diplomacy and reinforcing bilateral ties. INS Tamal is the third Indian naval ship in the last 2 years to visit Casablanca. During the 3-day port call, the ship engaged in a host of activities focused on furthering cooperation and collaboration between the two navies. Bilateral discussions with senior military officials, cross-decks visits, sports fixtures, yoga and cultural exchanges by both sides in honor of Indo-Moroccan relations were conducted as part of the port call. The port call at Casablanca is indicative of the importance India attaches to its relations with Morocco and the endeavour to strengthen the growing defence cooperation between the two nations. It also provided an opportunity for both navies to share best practices and explore new avenues of cooperation. On the momentous occasion of Singapore's 60th National Day, Indian Navy's first indigenous survey vessel, large INS Sandhyak, arrived at vibrant port of Singapore, reinforcing maritime cooperation and shared hydrographic interests between the Indian Navy and Singapore's maritime agencies. The 3-day port call also demonstrates India's growing leadership in maritime diplomacy and regional hydrographic capacity building under the Indian Navy's Hydrographic Department framework. INS Sandhyak was commissioned in February 2024 in presence of Defence Minister Rajnath Singh. The ship has full-scale coastal and deep water surveying capacity and is capable of humanitarian operations with on-board helicopter and hospital functions. Monsoon rains continue to lash parts of North India. The India Meteorological Department has issued alerts for Jammu and Kashmir, Uttarakhand, Delhi NCR, Haryana, Punjab, Rajasthan, Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. The maximum temperature dropped to 26.4 degrees Celsius, marking the coldest August day in 14 years. Monsoon rains have wreaked havoc in Himachal Pradesh as intense downpour over the past few days has resulted in multiple cloud bursts, flash floods and landslides. The prevailing weather conditions have also disrupted transport. Several roads have been closed for vehicular movement across the state. Mandi is among the worst affected districts due to the calamity. The IMD forecast indicates heavy to very heavy rainfall will continue over sub-Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Assam, Meghalaya and Arunachal Pradesh during the next 7 days. Updates now on natural calamity in Uttarakhand's Dharali. The Chief Minister of Northern Himalayan State, Pushkar Singh Dhami, met State Governor Lieutenant General retired Gurmeet Singh at Raj Bhavan in Dehradun on Saturday. CM Dhami informed the Governor about the current situation in the disaster-hit Dharali and Harshal villages. They also discussed the ongoing relief operations and rehabilitation of the affected people. The Uttarakhand CM also made an announcement for the rehabilitation and relief of people affected by the recent disasters in Uttarkashi. According to a release by the Chief Minister's office, immediate assistance of Rs 500,000 each will be provided for the rehabilitation of those whose houses have been completely damaged or destroyed by the disaster in village Dharali. Formation of a 3-member committee is also announced for rehabilitation, overall revival and strengthening of the sustainable livelihood of the villages affected by the disaster. A large amount of food and relief material is being sent to Harshal helipad for affected people. More than 260 sorties have been made so far by helicopters deployed in the heli operation. Over 1,120 people have been rescued from Dharali and Harshal so far. Meanwhile, a C-295 landed at Dharasu from Agra today morning with personnel, technicians, relief material for conduct of rescue and relief operations. Flood prevention and disaster relief operations are in full swing across China, with legions of emergency responders deployed to ensure the safety of millions of people during the ongoing summer flood season. Rescue efforts are underway after continuous heavy rainfall triggered mountain torrents in northwest China's Gansu province, leaving 15 dead and dozens of missing so far. Meanwhile, the seasonal peak of China's flood season continues to threaten other regions. Firefighters battling a forest fire in southeastern Greece face a rapidly spreading blaze that is threatening homes in towns of Keratia and Palaya Fokaya, about 50 kilometers southeast of Athens. At least one person died and homes and farmlands were destroyed on Friday as wildfires stoked by gale force winds broke out across Greece from near the capital to regions around the historical site of ancient Olympia. Greece and other Mediterranean countries are in an area dubbed a wildfire hotspot by scientists. With blazes common during hot and dry summers, these have become more destructive in recent years due to fast changing climate, prompting calls for a new approach. A wildfire in the southern French prefecture of Aude is not expected to be under control until late on Sunday, the regional chief firefighter announced. In fact, the fire, which began Tuesday, is one of the largest recorded in France since 1949, spread around 40,000 acres, has led to one fatality, the injury of 19 firefighters and 6 civilians, and dozens of homes have been destroyed. French authorities have attributed the fire to impact of climate change. An orange heat wave warning, the second highest warning level that encourages people to remain vigilant, is in effect for the department until midnight on Sunday. Wildfires also raging in Spain. More than 100 members of Spain's military emergency unit joined firefighters to put out wildfires. Dozens of residents were evacuated as the fire tore through 650 hectares of land. Europe is facing a new August heat wave and concerns continue to grow over the impact of global warming, leading to extremely dry conditions in forests and bush areas. And let's take a look at other stories making news around the world. Villagers in China's southwestern county of Gyantsé have increased their income by weaving Tibetan carpets in a more modern and customized way, drawing in a larger customer base. Tibetan carpet is a traditional handicraft with a history of more than 2,000 years. The handmade products feature fine yak and sheep wool and delicate weaving skills and patterns. Medellin's artisans and flower growers were preparing for the upcoming Siete Ros parade, the central event and culmination of the region's flower festival. Santa Elena, a district of Medellin, is renowned as the birthplace of iconic sietas, floral arrangements carried out on the backs people know as sieteos. Dozens of Brazilian families are experiencing the fantastic world of the Little Prince in an immersive exhibition at Parque Estadual Library in Rio de Janeiro, which aims to share the touching and imaginative messages of the book written by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. And still to come on the India NewsHour. Venezuela's assembly backs Maduro amid US bounty.
Geopolitics and trade deals. Economic challenges amid development. Hard work and the path to prosperity. It's the economy always. between walkers, money is what money does, and says supply creates its own demand, between the bulls pulls and bears tears. When supply chains globalization and India rises to the podium, we'll get you centered with the economic brief at 8 p.m. every Thursday on DD India.
You're watching DD India NewsHour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. European leaders on Saturday said the path to peace in Ukraine cannot be decided without Kiev. A joint statement issued by the leaders of Britain, France, Germany, Italy, Poland, Finland and European Commission President Ursula von der Leyen said they are convinced that only an approach that combines active diplomacy, support to Ukraine and pressure on the Russian Federation to end their illegal war can succeed. The statement was made a day after US President Donald Trump said he would meet with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on August 15 for Ukraine conflict. British Foreign Minister David Lammy and US Vice President J.D. Vance met Ukrainian and European allies in Britain on Saturday to discuss Ukraine peace talks. Lammy and Vance met with head of the office of the President of Ukraine, Andriy Yermak, and Secretary of the National Security and Defense Council of Ukraine, Rustem Umerov. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer also spoke to Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky ahead of the security meeting to discuss Trump's proposals for peace ahead of talks with his Russian counterpart in Alaska next week. President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Saturday that the meeting of security advisors from Ukraine and its partner countries in Britain was constructive, adding that Kyiv's arguments were heard and taken into account. He reiterated that the path to peace for Ukraine should be determined together and only together with Ukraine.
Перемовини безпекових представників Сполучених Штатів Америки та Європи. Україна, Сполучені Штати, віце-президент Венс, Британія, Франція, Німеччина, Італія, Фінляндія, Польща. Зустріч була конструктивною. Наші сигнали всі передали. Наші аргументи чують. Небезпеки враховують. Шлях до миру для України має визначатися разом і тільки разом з Україною.
Iran on Saturday vowed to block the Trump route for international peace and prosperity, or TRIP, a US-brokered corridor through Armenia linking Azerbaijan to its Nakhchivan exclave and Turkey aimed at boosting regional trade. The deal, signed by Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and Armenian Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan at the White House, seeks to end decades of conflict. Iran's advisor Ali Akbar Velayati called for a graveyard for Trump's mercenaries, citing security concerns. Although Russia was excluded from the talks, it called for regional solutions, while Turkey welcomed the accord. Unresolved details, including Armenia's constitutional amendments, may hinder lasting peace. Supporters of former Chad Prime Minister Success Masra protested in N'Djamena on Saturday after he was sentenced to 20 years in prison for hate speech, xenophobia and inciting a massacre. Masra, a key opposition figure and critique of President Mohammad Idris Deby Itno, was convicted for his role in intercommunal violence that left 42 people, mostly women and children, dead in Mandakau on May 14. The court also ordered him to pay a fine of about 1.5 million euros. His lawyers denounced the ruling, calling the trial politically motivated and lacking evidence. Masra was arrested 2 days after the violence and tried alongside nearly 70 others. Protesters from his Transformers party gathered following the verdict and announced Bedoumbra Korje as interim party leader. Venezuela's National Assembly declared unwavering support for President Nicolas Maduro on Sunday, rejecting a U.S. bounty raised to $50 million for his arrest on drug trafficking charges. The U.S. accuses Maduro of leading the cartel of the Suns, alleging ties to narco-terrorism and groups like Tren de Aragua. Venezuela's Foreign Minister Ivan Gil called the bounty a pathetic propaganda stunt, accusing the U.S. of meddling. The move strains U.S.-Venezuela relations, already tense over disputed elections and sanctions. Allies like Russia and China may bolster Maduro, complicating international efforts to address Venezuela's economic and political crisis.
We reject the absurd and desperate actions announced by the Prosecutor's Office of the United States of America. Actions that are clearly illegal and entirely baseless. Beyond being a deranged attempt at aggression against the constitutional president of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, Nicolas Maduro, and against our rebellious and courageous people.
Let's take a look at other stories making news. Ahead of India's Independence Day, Jammu and Kashmir's Poonch district police organized a 30-kilometer Tiranga motorcycle rally on Sunday. The rally was aimed to promote a message of national unity and patriotism across the district. A portion of a structure under construction at the Kuradi Mahalakshmi Jagdamba temple in Maharashtra's Nagpur collapsed during the construction of the temple gate. At least 17 workers were injured in the accident and have been admitted to hospitals for treatment. Sikkim Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang launched Nari Adalat on the occasion of first Amma Samman Divas at Rongpo on Sunday. Nari Adalat is a community-based forum run by women to provide accessible and informal justice, especially in rural and semi-urban areas of Sikkim. At the International Institute of Information Technology, Bengaluru, students were left inspired after an interaction with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Many said they now feel even more determined to make a difference for the country and contribute to the Make in India vision. Lead India correspondent Tapas Bhattacharya caught up with some of them, and here's what they had to say.
I have with me the new age people here from Bengaluru, and they are here at the IIT. You guys have been here, you heard the Prime Minister. What were the major takeaways that you thought that, Prime Minister spoke? He mentioned the fact that, Karnataka has to lead from the front for the new vision of India.
He mentioned that Bengaluru is leading in tech, and I think it's the students like us who need to take responsibility and advance it even further so that India moves ahead when it comes to global tech.
Right. You mentioned the fact that, new vision, you guys are from the IIT students working here, you'll be, leading from the front. What are the things that actually appeal to you?
So the major thing that appeals to us is the AI, and AI in defense, actually, the BrahMos missile and all, and the new metro stations and metro trains that connects actually the whole of Bangalore.
How do you find that, that particular speech?
So the most important takeaway, as you said, that the software needs to be made in India. So right now we are all in the process of making software. So that would be a biggest takeaway for us, that even women could come forward because it is going to be in India. So we can work in India and make new softwares.
They are going to lead, and Prime Minister Modi's vision, they believe that it is high time that they take it up and make India Atmanirbhar in every aspect. With camera person Kashyap, this is Tapas Bhattacharya for GT India from Bengaluru.
India's Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change, in collaboration with the Forest and Environment Department, Government of Gujarat, celebrated World Lion Day 2025 today at Barda Wildlife Sanctuary, Devbhoomi Dwarka District, Gujarat. The celebration was graced by Gujarat Chief Minister Bhupendra Patel, Union Minister for Environment, Forest and Climate Change Bhupender Yadav, along with other public representatives. World Lion Day, celebrated annually on 10th of August, aims to raise awareness about the conservation and protection of lions worldwide. In Gujarat, the Asiatic lion is a unique ecological and cultural treasure found only in the Saurashtra region. The ministry and the state's consistent efforts under Project Lion and the leadership of Gujarat government have made significant strides in ensuring the survival and growth of this iconic species.
इंटरनेशनल बिग कैट अलायंस के माध्यम से हम सभी बायोडायवर्सिटी के संरक्षण और संवर्धन के लिए काम कर रहे हैं. सबको इंटरनेशनल लायन डे की बहुत-बहुत शुभकामनाएं.
On World Lion Day, India celebrates a roaring success in conservation. Gujarat now hosts 891 Asiatic lions, a 32% rise since 2020. With expanding habitats and growing numbers, the lion's comeback is one of India's greatest conservation successes. Lead India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
World Lion Day, a global reminder of why the King of Jungle needs our protection. Celebrated every year on August 10th, it's a day to raise awareness about the plight of lions, their shrinking habitat, and the urgent need for conservation. For India, it is also a moment of pride. Because the Asiatic lion, once on the edge of extinction, is roaring back. According to the latest 2025 census, Gujarat is now home to 891 lions, a remarkable 32% jump since 2020 and a 70% increase in just 10 years.
Recently, we have done the Asiatic lion population estimation, and as per that latest estimate, there are 891 Asiatic lions in the Gujarat state. And for the conservation of Asiatic lions, we do a lot of conservation and management activities in the landscape. As part of the activities, we celebrate the Asiatic World Lion Day celebration in the Asiatic lion landscapes, and it is celebrated on 10th August every year. And in India, we started from 2016 onwards, and first year we did in 3 districts, and lions were last located in Barda in 1879, and now they have again recolonized the area in 2023. So that's an amazing conservation success story. And if you see the Asiatic lion population also, that has been increasing constantly, and that's really a positive and one of the conservation success story about the big cats in the world.
From just a handful in the early 20th century to nearly 900 today, the story of Asiatic lion is one of India's greatest conservation success. But the road must not fade. Tapush Bhattacharya's report, DD India.
India marks World Biofuel Day, showcasing its rapid strides in clean energy. Ethanol blending has jumped from 1.5% in 2014 to nearly 20% in 2025, cutting emissions, boosting rural incomes and saving 85,000 crore in forex. DD India's Tapas Bhattacharya with this report.
बायोफ्यूल सिर्फ विज्ञान नहीं है, बल्कि वो मंत्र है जो 21वीं सदी के भारत को, और न सिर्फ भारत को, पूरे विश्व की मानव जात को नई ऊर्जा देने वाला है.
The world is waking up to the climate crisis and the urgent need for cleaner energy. In India, the shift to the biofuels has become not just an environmental goal, but a rural revolution. Biofuel, derived from the plant biomass and animal waste, is more than just an energy source. It is a lifeline for sustainable growth. From reducing emission to creating jobs in rural India, biofuels are changing the narrative. Under Prime Minister Modi's leadership, ethanol blending has seen a dramatic rise from just 1.5% in 2014 to 12% in 2023, cutting down nearly 42 million metric tons of carbon emissions. India's 2018 National Biofuel Policy set a target of 20% ethanol blending by 2030. But the country is ahead of the curve, already achieving 19.6% by January this year. This has saved India a whopping 85,000 crore rupees in foreign exchange and supported rural livelihoods by creating demand for agricultural waste as feedstock. The impact: reduced pollution, better farmer incomes, and carbon saving equivalent to planting 175 million trees.
With biofuels powering both environmental goals and rural prosperity, India's push towards a cleaner energy is setting new global benchmarks. In this World Biofuel Day, let it be a reminder how sustainable choices today can fuel a greener, stronger tomorrow. With camera person Ajay Kumar, this is Tapush Bhattacharya for DD India from Delhi.
You're watching DD India News. Time now for sport, and Indian javelin star Neeraj Chopra has withdrawn from the Diamond League schedule on August 16 in Poland. The reason for Indian ace's absence is still not known, while Pakistan's Arshad Nadeem is also absent from the official entry list. The meet was expected to be the first Neeraj Chopra versus Arshad Nadeem face-off since their charged encounter at the Paris Olympics, where Nadeem took the gold and Neeraj settled for silver. The high-profile clash was in doubt after Nadeem had to undergo surgery on his right calf in London last month. India's Ramesh Budihal became the first ever Indian surfer to win a medal in the Asian Surfing Championships in Chennai on Sunday. Budihal clinched bronze medal in the open men's category, accumulating 12.6 points. Earlier, Butihal was also the first ever from the country to reach the medal round. Butihal's triumph is set to contribute significantly towards India's goal to earn additional quotas for the Asian Games 2026 in Japan. Rishabh Yadav clinched India's first individual medal at the 2025 World Games, securing bronze in the men's compound archery event in China. The 22-year-old outclassed senior teammate Abhishek Verma with a score of 149 to 147 in a high-quality bronze medal match in Chengdu City. Yadav maintained a slender lead from the beginning, showing remarkable composure to finish with 9 consecutive perfect tens. His semi-final run was halted by American Curtis Lee Broadnax. That's all for this edition of DD India NewsHour, but let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from India and across the world on DD India mobile app. The app is available on both Android and iOS platforms, and you can scan the QR code on the screen to download now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj from all of us here in Delhi. Thanks for watching DD India NewsHour.